Hi guys, it's Mary. Welcome back to Eyeshadow Declutter. This is the top drawer. So what we have in here back there, sunscreen, sunscreen, sunscreen. And these are what we're pulling out right here. These are my singles, pigments, eyeshadow sticks. We got a lot to go through here and I like to yammer. So single eyeshadows, eyeshadow sticks, pigments, and I'm gonna get brutal here. I have got things in here that are ancient, that I have held on to for sentimental reasons. In this eyeshadow declutter, even if one of you sent it to me, if it's old, I'm gonna get rid of it, okay? Or if it's something that I think someone else would enjoy and use and I'm not, I'm gonna get rid of it. That doesn't mean I don't love you. So here we go. MAC Pigments in Tan and Kitschmas. Look at that one, it's up to the very top because it only takes just a dab of a pigment mixed with something, and I've always kept them tightly sealed. But I have so many beautiful things that I forget about them, don't use them, and I know that there are some young people in my life who would actually love these. This is an old Wet n Wild Nutty. When I say that, I mean I don't know if they still sell Nutty or not, but this Nutty is very old. You don't need to go pick up another Nutty. We're not using this one, haven't in years, so we're gonna let that go to the trash bin. This is beautiful and not old. It is Urban Decay's Freak. That is beautiful. I'm keeping that. Here's another one. It's called Floored. By the way, Urban Decay sent these to me in PR. Being honest, I've got a lot more of this in palettes. So I'm going to pass this on, but I'm going to hang on to Freak. This is a matte by Neutrogena, and I've had this for a long time. It's Dusty Mauve. Gorgeous. I'm doing it. I'm swatching everything. I need to stop that. I do enjoy this, but I have a lot of this in all kinds of palettes, so passing on. I will just give everyone a disclaimer that some palettes I think are worth hanging on to. I personally, as long as you spritz them now and then with alcohol, I don't think there's a problem with it. If it's ancient, we're gonna throw it out. But I mean, if it's just a few years old, I'm gonna pass it on. This I've had forever because I love this shade. I love this. This kind of a shade, I love. It's called Endless Sea by L'Oreal. I wonder if this is dried up yet because I've had it for a long... No, it's still very creamy. Look how beautiful that is. I'm just going to trash that. It's been way too long. I don't even know when MJ sent these to me. They were such a long time ago. It's by a Canadian brand called Pupa. P-U-P-A. These are really easy to blend, really nice silky formula. This one's in 300, this one's in 402, and these were sent to me, like I said, years ago. There was a third, but I gave it to my sister, and it's time to let these go. But thank you, MJ, for sending those to me. Urban Decay Lounge. I loved this. And then Sydney Grace came out with Red Chameleon. I have no idea when Sydney Grace came out with that, but Lounge... Like I immediately knew when I saw it that Lounge, actually Sydney Grace does this better, but Lounge is pretty dang awesome. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to have one happy camper on my hands on Thanksgiving because I know someone in the family who this is their very most favorite eyeshadow is Urban Decay Lounge. And when they found out that I had one, because I don't know, did they discontinue this? For some reason, she wasn't able to get it anymore. Now I got two pigments. This one is a Sydney Grace. It's called Dublin, and you can't buy it anymore. So I never get to use it on camera, and, you know, it's just not getting used. But it is beautiful, and, oh, look at that. I don't think I can let that go. I think I have to keep that with Freak. It's just gorgeous. I mean, because I do wear makeup when I'm not with you. This one is by Nikkia Joy, and it's called Aurora. I bought this because Mel just went ape over it. And this is beautiful. Look at that. It's a green that shifts. I think I know some young ladies in the family who would just die to have this, so I'm going to pass that on. Speaking of Sydney Grace pigments, sadly, these have too much sparkle in them. This one is Beach Bum, and I may hold on to Beach Bum because I don't think Beach Bum, no, it does. It's got way too much sparkle, you know, little minute glitter in it. Right there, that's Comforting Lights. I can't get a good swatch of Pistol, but that's Pistol. But can you see? And when I talk about the glitter that I hate, I'm mainly talking about this. See how I'm going to wash this off here? Because I can make that stick to my lids. But when I wash it off, there's glitter now that's going to be here. It gets in my pores, clogs them up. I end up with a zit then. So even though I love Sydney Grace, these three pigments, they gotta go. Passing those on. So out of that container, I kept two, and both of them are variations of green. This is Lisa Eldridge's, what is this shade called? I don't know. It's the gray one. Not hard to figure out which one it is. And I bought this to go with my Lancome Smoky Chic palette that I wear at Christmas. I got this. I think I'll hold on to this for just a little while longer. I have had it a little bit now, and I have used it to where I can see patches on the side. So it does seem like it's getting drier, but I'm going to hang on to it for just a little bit longer. This is an e.l.f. stick. It's in blue steel. That could make it like a nice eyeliner stick for that. I'm going to pass this on. Liquid eyeshadows from Sydney Grace. I'm not really a liquid kind of girl, but let's see which one of these have like glitter in them that I just cannot get on with. This one is called Starry Night. See it shift? It's like the liquid version of Red Chameleon. I'm not going to hang on to this. I'm going to pass it on because I have Red Chameleon and I would rather use that than the liquid. I put this on one day and I had glitter everywhere. So Stolen Kiss. That one is Starstruck. Same deal. Microscopic glitter. No. Babe is right there. It seems like it's okay as far as glitter goes, but I'm probably not going to because I'm messy with these liquids. So I'm probably not going to use that one. The last one is my Bond. There is some sparkle in there. But, you know, I think that's the main thing about these is, you know, liquid sparkle. Aren't those beautiful? Those are going to some young people in my family. And when I say that, I'm not trying to insinuate that there's an age limit for glitter and sparkle. That's not it. It's me and glitter and sparkle. So I'm passing on all these Sydney Grace ones. Now, since I'm talking about Sydney Grace, I want to show you that this drawer behind me, it has all these palettes, Z palettes. See, those are Z palettes full of Sydney Grace, Z palettes. Yes, there are 3 Mel's down there. More Z palettes, palettes from Sydney Grace, like Enduring Love. That's Enduring Love right there. I think that's Autumn's Rain. I don't know. It doesn't make any difference. The point is that this drawer is not, we're not going in there. Nothing in there goes. And also that big Z palette back there, that's going nowhere also. That is also Sydney Grace. Their blushes, their shadows, their highlighters, none of that's going anywhere. Okay, just the cream shadows and the pigments because of glitter. So here's all of my eyeshadow sticks. And the first thing we're gonna do is get rid of Lancome because they're old. And most of these were sent to me. At this point, I think I buy as much Laura Mercier as they send me, maybe. They might send me a little bit more than I buy, but at this point I'm buying Laura Mercier. These Lancome sticks are still pretty creamy. I just don't think it's a very good idea to be using them. In case you want to know, this one's my favorite Lancome. I know because the end fell off of it, okay, and that is the shade. It's just, that is so beautiful. It's a beautiful inner corner shimmer, lid shimmer. This one was my favorite. It's the Ombre Hypno Stilo in 01. We all know how long it takes to go through Laura Mercier sticks, and I don't want these to go bad. So I'm going to give quite a few of these away. I love Moonlight and Cobblestone. They're probably one of my favorites. I love Cocoa. Intense Moonlight. We got to keep that one too. So of these, I'm going to part with Rose Gold. That'll look good on my sister. Orchid and Plum. This one's Kiss from a Rose. Keeping that one. Passing on Bed of Roses, Strike a Rose, Rose Thorn, and now we're down to just 5. I'm doing so good. I've got that bottom drawer empty in a box. We can slide that over here, but the drawer in between where we just were and that drawer has all of my, what I consider to be more expensive eyeshadow palettes in it, so I'm not going to take everything out of there. Hardly anything in that drawer is leaving, except for the Pat McGrath that I have in my Glitzy Fritzyville basket. I feel bad about this. I'm torn. I'm not supposed to be switching out eyeshadows here. I'm supposed to be using all of this stuff until I, you know, decently pan or use up a few things. But it is to the point, I hate those palettes so bad that it's to the point I don't even want to put on makeup every day. I'm like, totally. Well, what is the point? of having makeup in there that you hate. Granted, when I put it in there, I didn't know I hated it. So maybe we should start there. And I will just have to be disappointed in myself that I didn't keep going. But trust me, I've done it enough now that like I'm reaching for the L'Oreal liquid that I put in the box now because I don't want to use the Pat McGrath. Let me show you. And yesterday I cheated and I pulled out this one because I thought, well, maybe I'll use this one. The two that were in the Glitzy Fritzyville basket. And I'm only giving myself this pass because I know I don't want to keep them. And Thanksgiving is, I mean, that's why we're doing this, is to declutter everything for Thanksgiving. I don't like these two palettes. So that's going to be this one. The one that was Mel's favorite, I don't like it. I feel bad. I do know why Mel liked it though. It's like every day I'm Xing out more shadows. I need to smooth that over if I'm going to give it away. But too much glitter in this palette. There's too much glitter going on in this palette. I don't like this and I'm tired, so tired of not even wanting to put on makeup because I know I'm going to have to use this. And if you have like 6 of these or something, it is literally impossible to know which one you have without the box. So this is the one I'm actually using and I probably should keep it in there and keep using it. But like I said, I can tell you right now, before we ever get to the end of this box, that when the end of the box comes, this is going away. I don't want to use it. I'm tired of it. And you wouldn't think I would be, right? But if I had to pick one or the other, this one or this one, I give it to this one because this one has a lot less sparkle to it. So in addition to this, I'm also getting rid of this. And that will go to someone else on Thanksgiving. Maybe even somebody that doesn't even know who Pat McGrath is, how much that cost and why it's a big deal. I don't know. And this one here I may have used once. Swatched it. That's it. I look at this and I'm totally uninspired by anything in here. These are leaving. So what's in the drawer? What's in the drawer is the other Pat McGrath. So this one is Divine Rose 2. This is Divine Rose. That's where the other one went. I don't like this one either. I'm not inspired by this at all. This one, on the other hand, is a different story. I do like this one here. So basically, out of the 8 Pat McGrath palettes that I had, I've got 3 that are staying because I like those. And so I do like this one. This still is my favorite. I love that mauve-y shade right there. That pink one. You know, I never use that one really bad glitter. But I can put up with the glitter that's in this palette. So Divine Rose 2, darn it, which I don't need the boxes and threw them away. I don't need those to know that what those are because I just know that they don't have their boxes. And this one, which I think is Sublime, that will stay. This Laura Mercier Wallflowers staying because I just got it and I really like it. Well, that one here is Lisa Eldridge. I just got this like this week. These are my Lancome palettes, the 5-pan Hypnose palettes, staying. We're going to think about the Heart Lancome palette. All right, I'll just put that aside. I'm going to pull some of these out while I'm showing you this so we can talk about them. I have 3 Charlotte Tilburys staying, Tom Ford staying. That's definitely staying. That's my Natasha Denona Glam palette, which I love. This Makeup Geek isn't in here. I'll tell you in a minute. The Natasha Denona Metropolis. By the time I get around to using this again, I mean, because right now it just makes me too sad to pull it out. Me and Mel had, I mean, you just can't know. Me and her spent a lot of time playing around with, discussing those conversations with this, and just, it just hurts to look at the Metropolis palette. So I'm going to set it aside because I paid too much for it to get rid of it. But I don't know if I'll ever be able to use this again. I'm so sorry. Retro. Yeah, keeping that. That's not that old. The Lila palette was a gift to me from a friend who no longer makes makeup videos. And I don't think she watches my channel anymore either. But, you know, these are kind of old. Are they creamy? They're actually starting to dry up a little bit. Wow, really? Let's pull that aside to think about it. Those little Natashas fit right there really perfectly, don't they? And that gives us an empty container back here. I'm loving this. Loving all what's going on here. What's in this? All right, this is last year's Lancome holiday palette. Let's pull that out. Another Lancome holiday palette. Oh, okay, see? Now I would be using these if I could find them. These should be in the top drawer with the singles. I'm hanging on to my Natasha Denona mini palettes. Let's put those right there. I totally forgot I even had those. And this should go with it. I love that little thing. It was out for the longest time. I used it every day with that Glam palette. Okay, but then I put it away because it was in the first Glitzy Fritzyville basket, so we're going to put it in there. All right. That is definitely what is staying in this drawer. And let's talk about the rest of it. And I talked to my husband about this because, you know, I was hanging on to them because he bought them for me. And I told him, and he's like, baby, if it makes you that miserable, get rid of it. I don't care. And I thought, all right, then let's do it. First, I'm going to put Metropolis back in the drawer. We'll just put it in the back. I'm going to pass on these Lancome palettes. I don't buy the box for this. I mean, I kept these to do looks for you guys who did buy the box, but I bought the boxes for the skincare, and I'm not using these, so I'm going to pass these on. They're totally good. It's just that I have so much Lancome that I mean, I've got all of the palettes. You know, I don't need that. And this, which a couple of years ago, I think they brought this out, and it's lovely. I really do love this. I'm passing it on. So what's the story with this Makeup Geek palette in there? You would think I'd have Makeup Geek shadows in there, right? But no, I have too many Makeup Geek shadows to put in here. These are what is left of my Lancome singles. I used to have a Z palette full of Lancome, you know, a regular Z palette full of Lancome shadows, and I dropped it on the floor, and this is what survived. And I keep this thing for sentimental reasons. Obviously, this was like my favorite. I think I'm going to hold on to this, even though I don't wear them. All right, let's look at this closer and see. Are these actually drying up? No, I must have been at a bad angle. These are fine. Let me put it back in the drawer because I'm keeping it. In your time, we don't need to take a break. But in my time, I need to go to the bathroom, get some food, all that jazz. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back and I'm burning up. So I have changed my shirt. Are you guys so thrilled watching the new season? I'm just digging in here in no order. This is Too Faced. I just had this palette in the first, was it the first Glitzy Fritzyville basket? All right, well, that takes care of the makeup on my chin. In case you wonder where it went, I drug this on here. All right, I enjoyed using this. I really love it. It is pretty old. The shadows work still very well. I'm going to pass it on. This was sent to me by one of you, and it has beautiful colors in it. There's a lot of shimmer in it, and I dropped it, and a couple of them broke. There's just too much glitter in here, but thank you so much for sending it to me. This I just got from Bare Minerals, and there's no payoff to this. I did a video with it, and I don't know at this point because I'm trying to film a bunch so I can go on vacation. So I don't know whether or not you've seen that video, but I don't like this. I think it's suitable for like a 13-year-old or maybe somebody who just really just wants a little tiny wash of color. Definitely not me, so I'm passing it on. This is a Sigma palette. We're putting it aside for now. Anything I pull out of here that is Sigma, we're putting aside for now. This is that LA Girl palette that it's gorgeous, except there's too much sparkle and glitter in it. I bought this palette to see if this bottom row could dupe out Lancome's Smoky Chic, okay? That way you guys could get an affordable, because that is a spectacular holiday palette. And I wanted to be able to offer up, you know, this is a dupe, and you could get that if you wanted to, but no, it's not. And it's beautiful, but there's too much glitter in this. I'm going to pass it on. The Wahala palette, do you know how long I waited to get this palette? It has too much glitter in it. Passing it on. This was in the last Glitzy Fritzyville basket. I'm so proud of me. I'm going to hang on to it because I loved using it. I wasn't sorry about it at all. And, you know, maybe I should put it in there now and just keep going until it's all gone. I'm keeping this. This is a little Wet n Wild trio, and I bought it for one shade. This one. It's gorgeous. Look at it. I don't need this because I have Sydney Grace's Green Mist. And that is what I'll pull out, not this. So I'm going to put this in the giveaway pile. They're bite-sized palettes from e.l.f. I don't need this. This is a blush and a highlight, so passing. This is called Mint Melt. Keeping that. Yeah, I'm keeping this. I love the hot jalapeno. This one's never been opened. It must be a, yeah, I got 2 of these. But I'm going to pass both of those on, and I'm keeping this one, which I think is mint chocolate. I'm sorry, these mint melts, that's not what the shade is. That's what they're called. This one is Mint Melt eyeshadow in Mint to Be, keeping hot jalapeno, passing those 2 on, and keeping this one here, which is chocolate mint. So I'm going to put these in the top drawer with the other singles. To save time, let me go through the box real quick, pull out all the Sigma palettes, because like Sydney Grace, I'm not getting rid of any of my Sigma eyeshadow palettes. Well, I don't think. There may be 2 I get rid of. Hang on, I'll be right back. I'm keeping these. These aren't that old. I love them. So I've got Simple Kind of Life, Just a Girl, Rich Girl, and Danger Zone. I think I'm going to put these in the single drawer because they're tiny. And I don't want them to not be used because they're little. So we got all kinds of space in the top drawer now. Let's do that. Let's put them there. This melt stack here, I've had this a long time. And you know what? They are dry. Dry as a bone, these shadows are. It was a beautiful purple stack. And it's the only stack I ever had. And wouldn't you know, this is the one that Mel said, that's a bad one. Don't judge melt stacks on that one. It's called She's in Parties. And she told me, she goes, oh, honey, you just got the wrong stack. This stack, I guess, according to Mel, was the bad stack. All the others, she's like, any other melt stack you would like. These dried up, they're going in the trash. And since we're talking about melt, here is the Melt Gemini palette. She also wasn't a fan of this. Okay, but I love that green. Like, that's why I have the whole palette, because of that green. And I've always kind of wanted to do a collaboration with my friend Heba here using this, because I think that this palette would look so beautiful on Heba. Heba is a beautiful Egyptian woman, if you don't know. She's my friend. I've done a collaboration with her before. But I just, every time I pick up this palette, I always think, Heba. This would look beautiful on Heba. I think I'll pass it on. This is kind of a collector's thing for me. It's Max Selena. And that red lip that was in that collection, gorgeous. Let's hang on to it for just a little while longer. We'll put it in the top drawer with the other little palettes. This little flower palette is so beautiful. It really, truly is just a delight to use. I love this for a really quick look. And this one is in Gilded Lily. I think I'm going to hang on to it. I really like it. Look at this. Do you guys think that I used this a little bit? This one was called The Wants. Look at that huge mirror. I think I gave this a really good go, and it doesn't cost that much. I would kind of be like a little bit embarrassed to give this to somebody with how, you know, like I used it to death, and it reflects that. I don't think that anyone would feel special getting this, especially when they could go over to Ulta. I think you can still buy this, right? At Ulta. It doesn't cost that much. So I'm going to trash this one. Meet Matrimony. This is old and hardly touched. Can you even buy this anymore? It's dry, so I'm getting rid of it. I am holding on to this for a ridiculous reason. This was my first eyeshadow palette that I purchased from Sephora. Let's have a moment of silence because I'm actually going to get rid of it now. After all of these years, I'm going to get rid of this. I have loved you. Bye-bye. I did tell you I was going to be brutal, right? I got 2 little Urban Decays. I'm keeping them because I love this. Now I had the other 2 of these. These came like 3 of them, I think. The big one was Born to Run, right? And then they had 3 little ones. This one here is Shortcut. This is a perfect color story for that rosy tone for me, and I'm hanging on to this. I really like it. This one here, I'm pretty sure they sent me. This is Naked Sin. And look, this is a perfect throw it in your purse because you're going out of town palette, keeping both of these. I guess I just wanted to keep my Urban Decay together, so this is Urban Decay Naked 3, which I bought not that long ago. It is not old. It is brand new. I've used it one time, but I convinced myself that I shouldn't have gotten rid of it, and I bought it again. And if I'm being honest, I think this is the third one I've bought, keeping it so that we don't do that again. And this I love. This is like my favorite Naked palette, even more than the three. I love the Naked Most Wanted Wild West. Now that is a Merry Color Story. No doubt, this stays, and I even kept the box. I love it so much. I'm keeping all of the Urban Decay palettes that I have still in my possession. I'm not sure I used this more than twice. This is in the palm of your hand. I bought this in case I ever traveled. I would have a bronzer, blushes, like where am I going? A purpley color story here. They still got life in them, probably because I've never really touched it, but I think it's time for a new owner. I'm going to pass on in the palm of your hand. Oops, I got a little Naked 3 mini. Looks like this has been used a few times. I'm still gonna keep it. I'm also gonna keep this little Bobbi Brown palette. It's called the Essential Into the Sunset. Keeping that in the top drawer. This was sent to me by one of you after Mel died. I'm sure you can see why. Okay, I'm gonna keep this, but I'm not gonna use it. I'm gonna put it up there in the Mel shrine. I got a little shrine going there, and the little letter that came with it. I kept that with it also. So here it is. It's a really pretty story. I wore it one time, and then I went, why are you doing that? Put it away. I mean, I'm sure she didn't send it to me so that I could put it away, but I just want to keep it. There's no crime in that, right? I'm going to put it up there in my Mel shrine, up there. One of my BFFs bought me this when it first came out, and I've always said I'll never part with it because I love it so much. This is a perfect story, and I love it. And for some reason, Loraque's formula never goes bad. Not parting with this. This is such a funny story. So Too Faced Just Peachy Mattes. Like that shade got used once. This palette is number 3. This is a palette that I buy, go, nah, I don't want it, give it away. Why'd I do that? Buy it again. Nah, I don't want it, give it away. This is the 3rd time now, but I really am gonna pass this on, and I'm not gonna buy it again. Here's why. I discovered during the Glitzy Fritzyville basket thing, when I started it and I put the chocolate gold in there, I discovered that I'm not allergic. I thought I was allergic to Too Faced palettes because they had the scent in it, and I gave almost everything I had of them away. But I used that palette exclusively for like 6 weeks or something like that. Not a problem. It's the peach. Whatever they use in the peach scent, I gave away that peach palette because every time I used it, I would be itching my eyes a couple of hours later. So whatever the scent is for peach, I mean, that's not why I kept getting rid of this one. I had the peach one, so I was like, why do I need that? I had the peach one. I'm not willing to gamble that this peach won't make me start itching, so giving it away. Ooh, I found these sitting up there. They were from when we went through the top drawer. They're the Viseart palettes. So this one here is Viseart Petite Pro palette. I think this is the first little petite palette that they had. Obviously, I'm not going to use it, so let's pass it on. I don't want to give anyone the impression that I don't like Viseart. I do. It's just for some reason I've never used them. I bought several of their palettes and then ended up giving them away. This one here I always hang on to though because I love the story. And can you hear that? I got a brilliant idea. One time I decided I'll depot all my Viseart, then I'll use them. Now this was before you could magnetically take them out. Did I use them? No. So then I put them back in their in their palettes, and this one, I should take glue and glue them back down so they don't do that. But if I was to turn this, they'd all fall out. But I think I will keep this one. Juvia's Place, the violets, very pretty purple shades. They really are. But I'm gonna pass it on. True Beauty by BK Beauty. I think I'm gonna hang on to this. It's very soft and pretty and like neutrally, it's Lisa J is what this is. This palette was just in the Glitzy Fritzyville basket that I just finished, and I really didn't use it. It's gorgeous. I think this is just a palette I want to look at, but I don't actually want to use it. I only used it a couple of times in all the time that I had it, and the shades are fantastic, especially Seafoam. Look at this. That's Seafoam. Beautiful. The blue is Fiji. I like mixing the two together. The only time I ever do that is, wear that bold of colors is when I have on a shirt that matches it. I think while these still have life in them, I'm going to pass them on. Another Too Faced palette, the Natural Nudes. As much as Mel loved this palette, she told me not to get it because she said, you won't like it. It doesn't have enough payoff for you. And I'm like, okay, but I did it anyway. And I do like the mattes, but there is something about the shimmers that I didn't like. And I'll tell you the truth, I don't remember what it is because when I swatched them, they seem to be just fine, but I do remember there was something about the metallics that I didn't like. So I think I'll hang on to it for a little while. I didn't. I mean, I did, but then I thought, oh, this is perfect for so-and-so, and I pulled it out and gave it away. Wayne Goss. I think this is the first one he had, Imperial Topaz. It's also the reason I stopped buying Wayne eyeshadows. I don't like Wayne's eyeshadow formula. All right, let me take that back. I don't like this. A lot of you, including Mel, love this topper thing going on here, but you know why I don't like it. There's too much glitter. I do love his blush. I do love his contour and bronzer, but I don't like his eyeshadow formula that well, so I'm gonna pass that on. Probably nobody who goes through the box knows who he is, but maybe they will. Huda Beauty Mercury in Retrograde. This is the only Huda palette that I have left, and I didn't buy this one. This was sent to me by one of you because I think you said you had an extra one or something. And all right, look. Off Balance, Hot Mess, Crash. That's it. The rest are either shades I don't particularly care to wear, or they have way too much glitter in it. But, this is beautiful to look at. And I think that I know some ladies who are just going to be like peeing their pants to get this. And I love you, you know who you are, for sending this to me. Isn't that gorgeous? But to be completely honest, it's just sitting in a drawer. And I don't see me using it. So sorry. It's going bye-bye. Before we go through the Sigma palettes, which I do believe I have them all, at least all of the big ones. There might be a couple of tiny ones that I don't have, like these. There might be a couple of those I don't have, but I think I have all of the Sigma palettes. And this is what's left of my ABH palettes. So I used to collect these. Whenever a new one came out, I would go get it because I wanted to have them all. Whether I was ever going to use them or not, I wanted to know that I had them all. And it was like a special thing. Remember when Urban Decay came out with Naked? And then a year later, Naked 2. And then, and it was like you waited a whole year and you got so excited because there was going to be a new palette and everybody wanted it, right? And then they were like, hey, we're on to something. Let's come out with a palette every frickin' 3 months. And then Norvina went absolutely crazy and said, I think I'll just bring out all these Norvina palettes and let's bring out one every week. Let's be ColourPop and charge more money. And at that point, I jumped off the wagon. So this one, the Jackie Aina, was the last one I got. It's beautiful. These are the three I've had a problem letting go of, even though I've decided that Sigma, their shadows, they're like this formula. I am perfectly content to have no ABH and just have Sigma. However, these three have always survived. And today we're going to be getting rid of Soft Glam. I know we can't buy Soft Glam anymore. I just don't have a reason to keep this. I'm sure I've got all these shades somewhere else. So I'm going to let go of this one while they're still creamy and stuff enough that people can use them. But these two I'm having a problem with and always have. Sultry, I think you can see what the problem here is. But this color story, especially these three here, these silver grayish tones. Look at that! How can you not want to keep this? And it's not the kind of glitter that comes off, right? You could sit here and do this all day and it won't come off. You gotta love that. So I think it's still gonna survive another round. And Jackie Aina, it's so gorgeous and beautiful. And this color story, where'd the brush go? Who knows? I think this color story is just really unique and I really love this. So I think I'm still going to hang on to the Jackie Aina, making it the only one that I'm keeping because of the eyeshadows. And like I said, it's because Sigma came out with a formula that I think is exactly like ABH's formula. Love it. It's cheaper and it has better brush. Let's go through those really quick. This one here is the newest one that I've got. I kind of want to play with this. I think I might put this in the Glitzy Fritzyville basket to replace the Pat McGraths that were in there. So obviously not just this. We'll pick out another one also. There are a bunch of these that are this size that are littler palettes of the big ones, you know, like a little Enchanted and that kind of thing. And I have given those away to you guys. Whenever I have a giveaway, I'll like put some Sigma brushes, some stuff in it, some Derma E, you know, whatever I've got around here, I will put in there for you guys. And I have given all of those away because I have the big ones. And then when we have the changing of the basket, I'll have to explain all over again to the people who are watching, where'd those Pat McGrath palettes go? Because only about half of you are going to watch this video. Here are all of the full size. Even if I didn't love these, and I do, well, Enchanted is debatable, okay? But even if I didn't love these palettes, I would still hang on to them because I want to be able to swatch them for you guys and tell you if, like, is the Cinderella different than the Alice in Wonderland? Okay, so you see what I'm saying? So I feel like I need to keep these, even if I don't use them, just because of that. But I love everything I've got in my hand, except for this one. Enchanted is still something that I don't hate it, but I'm not in love with it. That is the Alice in Wonderland. This one is Ambience. This one is Untamed, New Mod, Corta Rosa, Cinderella, Warm Neutrals, and Enchanted. Then we've got the collaboration palettes. This one, so many people loved this palette that they brought it back out again. Like they brought it out and then they brought it out again. No one ever asks me about this palette and I'm getting rid of this one. It doesn't call to me at all. And it's too big. It doesn't fit with the rest of them. And you know how I am like that. Everything's got to be like, this one doesn't fit. Nothing against Beauty Bird. This doesn't call to me. So this one here I am going to pass on. It's the only Sigma palette that I'm not keeping. And I know that seems like, wow, if that doesn't say something, I don't know what does. And don't take it that way. And these aren't going anywhere either. I love my 6 9-pan palettes from Sigma. Which one is my favorite? Ivy. You knew that though, right? Let's find it. It's like a deck of cards here. Ivy is my favorite. Hello, greens. Ivy's my favorite. Probably the next one is Ritzy because it's kind of neutrally. And then Spicy. And then Hazy. And then Rosy. And then Fiery. So there you go. In case you ever wanted to know, these are my favorites in order. Top is the favorite. This is the top drawer now. So in the back we have, you know, the sunscreens back there in those 2 containers. All the little palettes are here now. So there we go. Feeling pretty good. All right. Then in the luxury drawer, things aren't stacked on top of each other anymore. We now have room in there. And in the bottom drawer, oh my gosh. And this is the decluttered eyeshadow palettes. Also, I didn't want to forget to mention that I do have a few palettes that are on display. It doesn't matter how old these get. They will not be thrown out. They are display items and collectibles to me. You are the best part of the Fritzy family. If you're not having a blessed day, be a blessing to somebody else. And watch that turn around. And until next time, love you, see ya. Bye. And I'm out.
That are phenomenal. I did it again. Why don't we just strike that word from my vocabulary because I might as well be saying abominable? Really? I'm an Archie Bunky. Bunky? I'm Archie Bunker. Bunky? No, I'm not. I'm really not. But I'm going to hang on to freak. Ooh, freak out. Really creamy, nice blendable form. Hey, Peter! Dang it! What are you doing? Two doors down, two drawers down, 2 doors down. They're laughing and singing and throwing makeup away. And 2 doors down, they're not aware that I'm around. Okay, they're not a dime a dozen. For you to get to him, I have to move over and I'm gonna stand right here. It'll be over my dead body. I love you so much, Loretta. I hope you're having a good time in heaven. Lancome palettes, 3 Peter! And, oh my gosh, what did you do now? Look at you! Like, Peter, this video is gonna be the death of you, isn't it? Stay focused! I'm not in love, so don't forget it. And buy another one when it comes out. Da 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 da.